Larry. What a pleasure to speak with you. I can't believe that I got through. It's just wonderful.
My pleasure.
Larry, I was wondering, you had mentioned you were in Cleveland for 17 years. Being a former Clevelander myself, having grown up there most of my life, I just wondered what years you were there and what are some of your fondest memories of the old public square in Euclid Avenue?
I was there from 1977 until 1994. Cindy,
94.
Yeah, Cindy, were you East Side or West Side?
West Side.
West Side.
Rocky River, Westlake area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I was wondering. You were on the East Side, Larry?
I was on the East Side. And I guess my fondest memory of Cleveland, the beautiful, stunningly, breathtakingly beautiful sunsets over Lake Erie. Unbelievable.
Is that right?
Some of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen in my life.
That's wonderful. So you were close to the lake, even though you were on the east side or close wherever you were working. Did you go to school? Did you go to Cleveland State,
no.
the Marshall Law School?
No. I went to Michigan, University of Michigan for law school. But I went to Cleveland in 1977 to work for a big law firm on the corner of Euclid and East 9th.
Is that right? My gosh, that's where the old Cleveland Electric Illuminating Company was down there.
They were one of my clients. They were one of my clients.
Yeah, that's fun. That's wonderful. Those were there were a lot of good times in those days, weren't there, Larry? Did things seem like they were a little simpler then for us? I mean, compared to today.
I think so, Cindy. But I must tell you, I did not like the cold. Right. And I lived in the first 2 years. I lived in an area called Bay Village, which is in something called the Snow Belt. And I didn't. I didn't know that, Cindy, when I was advised to live there. And then it snowed that winter. It was a 77, 78 winter, one of the worst they've ever had. And I noticed when I got on the bus, the snow in Mayfield Heights was massive. You get downtown, it's almost all gone. And I asked them, what's going on? And they said, well, you live in the snow belt. Nobody told me that.
Oh, my gosh. Bay Village. Well, Rocky River is in Westlake, or everything is right there, right on the lake.
Right.
And so if you were in Bay Village, you remember. But, boy, the good memories of in the olden days with alleys, department stores, when they were fun to shop, and going downtown at Public Square and all. Things have changed. The Cleveland Clinic basically is their biggest employer right now. So, but anyway, I just wondered.
Cindy, before you go, I want to amend something. Bay Village is where one of my employees lived. That's on the west side. I lived in Mayfield Heights for 2 years in the Snow Belt on the east side.
Oh, okay. You had mentioned Bay Village. I thought you ended up there for a short time.
No, I made a mistake. I was referring to somebody else. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's okay. So all in all, for all those years then, Larry, the sunsets, you still, even though you're in California, you find those sunsets amazing.
They were stunning. They were stunning. And also, Cindy, Cleveland gave me the opportunity to go on television. I literally picked up the phone and I talked myself into getting an audition at KVIZ, Channel 25, the PBS station in Cleveland. That doesn't happen in Los Angeles. You can't pick up the phone and talk your way into getting an interview for a TV station in L.A. So I was kind of a bigger fish in a smaller pond, and I was able to grow and learn my craft in Cleveland and before transitioning back to my hometown.
So California being your hometown, then you packed up after you left Cleveland in '94 and you went back to California.
I sure did. Basically. And Cindy, I got to tell you something. The first day that I arrived in Cleveland, I drove my car from California, 1971 AMC Hornet that my mom gave me when I graduated from law school. So I pull into the parking lot. The guy who owned the parking lot, his name Danny, he and I later on became friends. So I pull up. He sees my license plate, sees California. He goes, "Are you from California?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You here permanently?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You ain't going to like it."
You're right.
My first day.
So funny.
Welcome to Cleveland. You ain't going to like it.
Yeah, that is a riot. So you remember all the former mayors then, Larry. They went through Carl Stokes, Kucinich, all the liberal mayors.
Oh, yeah. And Perk and Dennis Kucinich.
Right, right. And the last I knew, Kucinich was still at it. I haven't heard much about him lately, thank God. But
he ran.
How time flies.
Yeah, he ran for everything. He ran for president. As you know, he ran for mayor. He ran for Congress. He got elected to Congress and then ran for mayor. I think he was the youngest big city mayor in the history of this country. 29 years old or 30 years old, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I do remember it well. But anyway, Larry, you're just so fantastic. I just recently made another move here in San Antonio, and I'll tell you, the world is becoming so small. We are getting so many new residents coming from all over the place, California in droves. And the latest conversation I had with a new neighbor, they had bailed out of the Seattle area. He came here to San Antonio because he was laid off from Boeing and he was taking on a job. Well, suffice it to say, I mentioned you and your father in the book and all that, and I saw his face, and we never talked again. And I said, you know what? I've got to get out of this place. I'm serious. I am so serious.
Cindy, I'm going to have to roll. Thank you very much for calling. I appreciate it.